Have you ever felt the very specific shame of being the smartest person in the room and the one with the most chaotic bank account? You can explain Jungian archetypes, automate a spreadsheet, quote Marcus Aurelius, design a logo, and build half an app, and still end up staring at your bank balance like it personally betrayed you. You've got certificates, half-finished masterpieces, a graveyard of Notion dashboards all named New Life Plan, maybe a degree, maybe 3 career pivots. And people keep telling you the same thing. You have so much potential. At first, it sounded like a compliment. Now it sounds like a diagnosis you can't afford to treat. Because potential doesn't pay rent. Potential doesn't buy groceries. Potential doesn't explain to your family why you're still figuring it out while everyone else picked a lane, bought a car, and optimized their LinkedIn headline. One of you put it more bluntly in the comments than I ever could. If you're so smart, why ain't you rich? Today, I'm going to give you the actual answer. And it's not the one you think. You were told success means choosing one well and digging deeper than everyone else. But what if that advice was never built for your kind of mind? What if you're not a diver? What if you're an oceanographer? You don't go wide because you're afraid of commitment. You go wide because you're tracking the whole ecosystem. You notice that software architecture rhymes with stoicism. That branding rhymes with trauma. That productivity is sometimes just grief wearing a calendar. You see the bridges between worlds that specialists can't see because they're standing inside just one of them. And there's exactly one bridge nobody ever taught you to build, the one between your curiosity and a consistent paycheck. Here's what took me embarrassingly long to understand. Smart people don't go broke for one reason. You go broke in a way that is specific to how your mind weaves. Because every pattern weaver has a gift. But every gift throws a shadow. And your shadow isn't a vague flaw. It's a leak. A precise, repeatable place where all your brilliance drains out before it ever becomes money. There are 6 of these weaves. 6 gifts. 6 shadows. 6 leaks. And the cruel part? Your leak is invisible to you because it's standing right behind the thing you're best at. The builder can't see it. The mystic can't see it. Nobody can see their own shadow without turning around. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to walk you through all 6. Find the one that makes your stomach drop, and you'll have found not just how you think, but exactly how you've been going broke. And once you can see the leak, you can plug it. There's a 3-minute quiz that pins down your exact weave. The link's in the description. But watch this first, because the quiz tells you your gift, and this tells you your leak. 1. The builder weaver. You synthesize to create. You pull from biology, design, economics, history, not to admire them, but because you're already imagining what they could become together. Your loom is a workshop. The tell? You've got more started projects than anyone you know. The leak? You're in love with the beginning of things. The first build is electric. Then refinement gets slow, shipping gets terrifying, and the project doesn't die from boredom. It dies the moment making turns into maintenance. Not a lack of talent. A graveyard of unshipped genius. The plug? You don't need to learn to love finishing. You need an external structure. A deadline, a collaborator, a public promise, so the shipping happens anyway. Builders who install that one habit stop being broke almost overnight. 2. The mystic weaver. You synthesize to understand. Where others see coincidence, you see structure. Your threads come from depth psychology, mythology, consciousness, the edges of neuroscience, and you weave them because something in you knows they belong together before you can prove it.
The tell is you don't build to sell, you build to know.
The leak, the insight, is real, and it never leaves your head. It gets held, protected, never shared, because no external form ever feels worthy of the internal experience. Beautiful. And completely unpaid, because the world can't hire a thought you never let out. The plug is imperfect expression shared, is worth infinitely more than perfect silence kept. You don't have to publish the cathedral. You have to publish the doorway. 3. The bridge weaver. You blend concepts to translate. Your scattered career was a translator's education. Every pivot taught you a new language, and now you can stand between two specialists and make something new come out of the gap. In a world of deep wells, you're the aqueduct. The tell, people are always saying, wait, can you explain that to so-and-so? The leak, you translate so fluently for everyone else that you never build anything that's yours, and you give the synthesis away for free every time as a favor. The bridge goes broke by being endlessly, generously useful and never once charging the toll. Charge the toll. And pick one project that is yours, not a service to someone else, and build it with the same energy you hand everyone else for nothing. 4. The wild weaver. You synthesize through the living world. Your deepest connections happen outside, in the soil, on the trail, in the way water finds its path. You understand something the lab specialists miss. Living systems hold more intelligence than any single discipline can contain. The tell is, your best thinking never happens at a desk. The leak, what you know, feels untranslatable to people stuck indoors, and translating it is the last thing you want to do. So you don't, and the knowing stays priceless and unsold. The plug, your translation isn't a dumbing down of your knowing, it's an invitation. The guiding, the teaching, the consulting that turns ecological intelligence into something an indoor company will pay for? That invitation is your paycheck. 5. The sage weaver. You synthesize across time. Your loom has the longest threads, decades of your own experience, centuries of recorded human wisdom. Others see the chaos of now. You see the pattern because you know it's happened before. The tell, you're the one who says, this isn't new, here's where it comes from. The leak, the long view, creates a comfortable distance. You contextualize the moment instead of acting in it. You watch the market like a historian instead of entering it like a player, and observers don't get paid. The plug, bring the long perspective into the present tense and sell it. Mentorship, strategy, advisory. People will pay enormous money for someone who can stand inside today's fire with them and say, I've seen this shape before. Here's what happens next. 6. The storyteller weaver. You to illuminate. You collect threads the way others collect memories, and then you make the thing that lets other people feel less alone, the exact sentence, the metaphor that unlocks the whole room. Your loom makes maps of the interior. The tell, you're the one who finds the words for what everyone else only felt. The leak, you hold back because the vision inside is purer than anything you think you could express. So the perfect thing never ships, and the imperfect but real thing never gets made. The plug, The gap between what you feel and what language can hold isn't your enemy, it's your engine. You don't close it. You make something honest enough that other people feel the gap too and pay you for the relief of not being alone in it. If more than one of those felt like you, good. Nobody's a single weave. You're a blend, and the blend is the part no one can copy. But you probably felt one of them land harder than the rest. A little too accurate. That's your dominant thread, and its shadow is your main leak. If you want it pinned down precisely, gift, shadow, and the work that fits you, that's exactly what the quiz does. It's in the description. 3 minutes. Then come back, because knowing your leak is useless until we plug it. Which is the rest of this video. I have zero idea how to get an anchor. I can't stay in one sphere for years. It's soul crushing. I think I described it wrong, so let me fix it with what we just learned. Your archetype is permanent. You will be a builder or a bridge or a storyteller for the rest of your life. That thread runs through everything you'll ever do. Your anchor is temporary. It's just the current job you run that thread through. A costume, not a cage. You wear it for 12 to 18 months, long enough for the market to understand you and pay you, and then you recast yourself on purpose. So you're not committing your identity to one sphere. You're only committing a season. That soul-crushing feeling when a role goes gray? That's not a defect. That's your weave telling you the season is over. Design your anchor with an expiry date, and the boredom shows up right as you've banked enough leverage to move. And for the person who searched every synonym for an improver job and found nothing, you never find that role in a listing. You assemble it as an offer. I come in, fix the system, hand it back, leave. A short, intense season. Exactly the shape your brain likes. So here's the machine that runs all 6 weaves. 3 levers. Lever 1, your cash flow anchor. The skill the market already pays for today. Copywriting, coding, ops, editing, analysis. Its job is not to express your soul. Its job is to take the panic out of your curiosity. Because curiosity that has to make rent by Friday can't play. Lever 2, your curiosity R&D. The rabbit hole you'd fall down even if nobody clapped. Specialists call it a distraction. For a weaver, it's research and development, where next year's edge is being built right now. The synthesis bridge. This is where the money actually lives. The question is, what happens when my cash flow skill collides with my current obsession? Copywriting plus psychology becomes conversion strategy. Coding plus education becomes learning tools. Operations plus trauma awareness becomes humane operations. 1,000 people can say, I'm a writer. Far fewer can say, I help technical founders explain complex products through emotionally intelligent storytelling. That sentence is a bridge. And a bridge is a paycheck. Now, a while ago, I called it the graveyard of 90%. The almost finished essays, the almost launched podcasts. There is no graveyard. The projects at 90% aren't dead. They're just not finished yet. And yet is a magic word. They're right. Yet is the most honest word in this entire video. Nothing you started is dead. But here's the part that still stings. Yet doesn't pay rent either. And notice, almost every leak we just covered is the same move in disguise. The builder won't ship. The mystic won't share. The storyteller won't publish. Different weaves, identical bleeding. The work never crosses the line from in your head to in the world. So here's the only rule that plugs all 6 at once. It is not finish everything. It's this. Before you wander off a rabbit hole, and you will wander, extract one shippable bridge from it. Not the cathedral. The smallest paid or public version of the connection you just found. Obsessed with productivity and the nervous system? Don't build a 12-week course, run one workshop. Connected AI tools with language learning? Don't build the app, sell 3 coaching sessions. Connected storytelling with sustainable fashion? Don't launch a media company, rewrite one product page and make it a case study. That's the discipline. Not finishing everything. Vesting one bridge before you move on. Do it enough times and the bridges stop looking random. They become a body of work. Proof of range. And eventually someone hires you not despite your strange combination, but because of it. So no, you're not broken because you have range. You're not lazy because you lose interest once the pattern is solved. You're not unemployable because your resume looks like a map drawn by lightning. You're not too much. You're just unstructured, and structure can be built. Your mind doesn't need a cage. It needs an architecture, a cash flow anchor to steady you, a curiosity engine to keep you alive, a synthesis bridge to turn your strange intersections into something other people can recognize, trust, and pay for. And it needs you to know your own weave well enough to stop bleeding out through your shadow. The world will keep telling you to pick one thing, because one thing is easy to explain. But your job was never to be easy to explain. Your job is to be impossible to replace. So 2 things. 1. Go take the quiz. It's in the description. 3 minutes, 13 questions, and it tells you which of the 6 weaves is yours, your gift, and your shadow. Think of it as a financial diagnosis with a personality test's manners. Find your weave, find your leak. 2. Drop your messy resume in the comments. 3 skills or interests that look unrelated. Excel, mythology, and fitness. Photography, grief work, and operations. Coding, music theory, and climate anxiety. Tell me what the quiz called you, and I'll help you find the bridge, because somewhere in your strange combination is your next offer. We're not digging one well anymore. We're finding out which loom is yours, and finally getting paid for it. Subscribe, and let's keep weaving.